Avocado meets coffee makes Café Sinh Avocado Smoothie coffee. I recently showed you how to make Sinh, a deliciously sweet and creamy Vietnamese avocado smoothie. Today, we're using it as a base for another fun drink. Personally, I'm a big believer in coffee makes everything better, especially when it comes to desserts, so this is no exception. The bitterness and fragrance of the coffee complements the richness and sweetness of the avocado smoothie perfectly. On top of that, the protein and fat content of the avocado smoothie will slow down your digestion and absorption of caffeine and is supposed to reduce coffee jitters. If you're looking for a fun new way to drink your coffee, especially in the summer, look no further. For this recipe, you'll need avocados, sweetened condensed milk, you can use any brand, but Longevity brand is the original. Whole milk, coffee, preferably Vietnamese coffee. I like to use one that is 50% Arabica, 50% Robusta, and ice. Let's get started. First, we'll start with our coffee so that it has time to brew and cool down while we make the smoothie. Of course, I recommend using Vietnamese coffee brewed with a phin for the most authentic taste. However, you can use any type of coffee and brew it however you like, just as long as the result is pretty concentrated so that the coffee flavor does not get overpowered by the smoothie. If you've never seen or used a Vietnamese phin filter, I'll take this time to show you how it works. There are a few different pieces, the main chamber with holes at the bottom and a skirt-like disc. In more traditional phin, the cylindrical chamber and the disc are two separate parts. We also have a tamper, which is the part that was on the left. Some tampers simply sit on top of the coffee, while others, like the one I have here, actually screw into the rod inside the chamber. And finally, a lid. I started by adding coarse ground coffee to the chamber, tapping to evenly distribute the coffee, before screwing in the tamper tightly. Next, the filter is placed on top of a glass or mug, and a small amount of hot water is poured in. This allows the coffee to bloom before the rest of the water is added. And now we wait. This old-school Vietnamese brewing method is definitely not for the impatient. Coffee culture in Vietnam is all about taking your time, chatting to your friends, and not simply fueling up on caffeine before rushing off to the next errand. Insert elevator music here while we wait. Now that the water inside the chamber has mostly dripped through and the coffee has bloomed, I'm filling the chamber with hot water and setting this aside to drip while we make the smoothie. Cut open your avocado, remove the pit, and scoop out the flesh. You can do this directly into your blender or into a bowl. I'm doing the latter so I can weigh the amount I need. To your blender, add in the ice, avocado flesh, condensed milk, and milk. For the creamiest result, use whole milk, but since the avocado itself is already creamy, any type will do. Now let's blend it up. If you have bits of unblended avocado stuck on the side of the blender, scrape down the sides with a spatula. To assemble, pour the smoothie into a glass. Pour in your coffee. Give that a stir. and enjoy. Let's give it a taste. Let's mix it all together. Oh, it's so good. Because of the creaminess of the avocado and the bitterness of the coffee, it reminds me almost of chocolate. Delicious. This is how you spice up your morning coffee. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and visit mmbonapetit.com for more Vietnamese and French recipes.